Texas just destroyed Kansas this Saturday, folks, to the score 40-14. As Texas gets ready to go into the Red River rivalry here against the OU Sooners here on this Saturday. But folks, prior to stepping into the stats for this game, go like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It helps the channel grow a lot. Helps to grow immensely. And folks, if you're listening to this on the streaming podcast platform, whether it is Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or Breaker, like, comment, and subscribe there as well to help me grow this channel a lot. But folks, let's just go ahead and get into it, man. Texas beats Kansas on Saturday by the score of 40-14. Outstanding game from Texas on the offensive side and also on the defensive side. They had to clean up some stuff there after the first couple of drives, but Texas got it into motion. But one thing Texas has to clean up before going into Oklahoma are those special teams, man. We got to make those field goals. This week we missed, 2 field goals from Bert Auburn. The previous week we had 2 fumbles on special teams as well. We got to crisp those up. Some things that we have to look forward to. But folks, let's just go ahead and let's get straight into the stats. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Go to Manscaped.com, get yourselves 20% off and free worldwide shipping using the promo code NinosCorner. Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. They just released their Lawnmower 4.0 4th generation trimmer. Go to Manscaped.com, get yourselves 20% off and free worldwide shipping using the promo code NinosCorner. All right, folks, if you go to NinosCornerSports.com, you'll go ahead and see all the stats we have here. Let's go into the analysis side of the house, and let's just go ahead and look at the NCN offensive score. And we're talking about the NCN offense. That is the NinosCorner number for offense. Average scores usually between 45 to 50 points here for a season. Texas is doing extremely well this year. If you look at this Kansas game per se, in the Kansas game, they had an NCN offensive score of 63.83, which is extremely high. The SPR, folks, which is the successful play rate for the offensive side of the ball, is 49%, so 49.4%. When we're looking at plays that are successful, folks, we're looking at on the first play, you're getting at least 50% of the yardage on first down to get another first down. On second down, at least 70% of that yardage. On third down, 100%, and on fourth down, again, 100%. I know those metrics are very aggressive, but that's the kind of the metrics that I like to use when we're grading successful teams. If you can have an SPR rate of 50% or better, you are doing great things. When it comes to total yards, Texas had 643 total yards, 5 touchdowns this game. 5 tackles for loss this game. They only allowed two sacks. They allowed 5 tackles for losses. We had the 1 turnover, Quinn going into the halftime through a pick. Just not his best throw, but honestly, I'm not mad at that throw. Well, I'm mad at the throw, but I'm not mad at the pick. Quinn had such a great season so far with no picks. We know interceptions are going to happen. I'm glad we got it out the way. And now we can start the new streak and hopefully not have a pick for another 5 games here. And then Texas only had 2 penalties. I think we had I think when JT Sanders got hurt, Gunnar Helm came in as the tight end number 1. I don't think he lined up on the line correctly. Wasn't on the line. We got penalized for that, and I think we had a holding call too as well. Before the season, folks, Texas is at 56.3 for the NCN offensive number with an SPR rate of 45%. We are right in tune with what we've had here in the previous years. The offense is doing great, and that's one thing I'm not really worried about the Sark offense. But here, folks, we're looking at 2,400 yards so far this season. And I expect another 300 to 400 yards next week. That'll bring that average up for a 12-game season to be about 5,000 yards, if not more. Now, mind you, the 2022 number is incorporating the bowl game, so that's an extra game as well. 21 touchdowns so far for the offensive side of the ball. Only allowed 18 tackles for loss, so we're right there around the range of 36 or 38 that we've had here for the previous seasons. Only allowed 8 sacks this year, which is good. So hopefully those numbers are going to be less, than those previous 2 seasons. And only have 4 turnovers so far this year. You extrapolate that out for the entire year. Those are interceptions and lost fumbles. You're looking at only 4 for the year. Look, we're going to probably 10 or less, knock on wood, which is outstanding, and only 13 penalties so far for the year. Most penalties happen, folks, on the offensive side of the ball with holding on the offensive line and false starts, which usually symbolizes if that number is that high like we had last year here at 44 last year, it's because we didn't have the continuity on the lines. This year, you're seeing that continuity, and you're seeing that number is going down to 13. Look, folks, great offensive line that we're seeing here. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of DJ Campbell. He kind of knows that job is his now until, Cole Hudson comes back from injury where they swap out a lot, but he's kind of owning that job right now, and he's being very physical and very nasty and a lot of pancakes. Got to love what you're seeing. Now, folks, let's take a look at the NCN defense. The defense played well, especially after those first couple of drives. They had an NCN number about 46 points. Like I said, the average is 45 points or above, basically, between 45 and 50 points. So showing that the defense was, I wouldn't say average this game, but they're a little bit above average. The problem with the defense here is they allowed some very explosive plays here for this game. They allowed an explosive pass play for a touchdown. The safeties got to get better in the coverage aspect, especially against Oklahoma next week. Oklahoma can definitely do some good things when it comes to throwing that ball deep, and they get the ball out very quick. So that's going to neutralize what we have here for the defensive line. For the defensive successful play rate, 63%, which is truly outstanding. Only 2 TDs allowed, 3 tackles for loss, no sacks this game, which I was very, surprised. But again, they ran the option a lot this game. They were very quick as well. And so we didn't get a lot of sacks, but we did get a lot of pressures this game. We got 1 fumble recovery on that 4th down play, which turned out to be a turnover on downs for us, so that was great. And no interceptions this game, 1 4th down stop, and 2 penalties, both of them, if I'm not mistaken, holding in the secondary. So, look, great overall game from the defense. Looking at the stats here for the total year, 60.86, truly above what we need to be an average defense between that 45 and 50-point range. They're at 61 points basically here for the season, and the successful play rate is 6%. As you can see, each year, folks, we're getting better and better. The SPR rate going up every season, 46%, 52%, 59.7%. And then for the defensive side of the ball, the NCN number, 44.86 points, 51.75 for 2022. And now in 2023, 60.86. Defense is playing outstanding and lights out. Now, folks, let's take a look at these metrics. I want to take a look at the successful play rate stats here. So against Kansas, folks, 23 successful rushing plays out of 49 plays for a rate of 46.9%. For the passing plays, 19 successful passing plays out of 36 for a rate of 52.8%, so about 53%. The SPR total, folks, 42 successful plays out of 85 total offensive plays, 49% successful play rate. Like I say, you want that 50% range. We're looking really good there, folks. Let's take a look at the explosive plays before we start to get into some of the players. And so the XP rate, explosive play rate for this game, 4 explosive rushing plays. Jonathan Brooks, my God, he had a hell of a game. XP plays for rushing guys are 15 yards. Explosive plays for passing are 20 yards or more. So 4 out of those 49 rushing attempts were explosive plays for a rate of 8.2% for the entire game. And on the passing side of the house, folks, 5 out of the 36 passing plays were explosive plays, 13.9%. And that is not bad at all. So looking at the total explosive plays for the game, 9 of them. 9 explosive plays, folks, for a rate of 10.6% here for the game, which is the second or third highest here in the season. The first was against Baylor last week against Power 5 competition, and the second one was against Rice, and now look for Kansas against Power 5 opponent, the second highest XPR rate when it comes to total plays here for the game. Now, one thing I do like to look at is the XP rate, rushing yards and passing yards. So we had 341 total yards rushing. 168 of those came out of explosive plays, so meaning plays that were 15 yards or more. So 49%, nearly 50%, nearly half of our total yards of rushing came from explosive plays, which says something about just how dynamic this offense is. On the passing side of the house, folks, 302 passing yards, 130 of those were explosive play yards, which are plays of 20 yards or more in the passing game, which means that 43% of our yardage in passing came from explosive plays. Truly outstanding. It's a very explosive offense when we have to be. So a total, folks, of 298 total explosive play yards out of 643 total yards, for a rate of 46.3%. We're doing great things, folks, when it comes to the explosive nature here. Just for this team, a very explosive offense. Once we want to be, and we're doing great things with that. Now let's take a look at the quarterbacks. And let's take a look at Quinn Ewers and just see how he performed in this game. It's going to be very similar to some of the stats you saw for the XP rate and the SP rates. So Quinn here is 24 out of 36 for this game, 302 yards, 12.5 yards per attempt, 8.39 yards per attempt, 12.58 yards per completion. Only one touchdown pass, but he ran the ball in a couple times today, a nice 28-yard run. If you look at his picks, he had one pick, his first pick of the season. So just a small deviation there, 4.2%, interception per completion rate. Not bad at all. 5 explosive plays, folks. So 20.8%. So a 21% explosive play per completion rate here for the game. And if you look at his successful passing plays, 19 of them out of the 30, how many have? 36 attempts. And so a 79.2 successful play per completion percentage. So, kudos to Quinn. Let's see his numbers for the season. He's going to definitely best that number since he missed, 4 games last year. But 96 completions on 154 attempts. You're looking at, let's see. Yards is 1335 and the yards per completion at 13.91. Now, folks, if we take a look at his explosive plays here for the season, 20 so far this year out of 36 from last year, and he's averaging about 21% explosive play rate per completion, and his successful pass rate is about 75%. So a slight dip down from last year, but he's doing great things. And successful play rate per passing attempts at 47%, which is higher than it was last year. So throwing less, being more successful as he throws, but that number has got to come up with the completions, if that makes sense. So he's getting there, folks. Not worried about this offense. We're doing great things. I can't wait to see what he's going to do against Oklahoma next week in the Red River rivalry. Let's take a look at the running backs, folks. And I want to highlight our guy, Jonathan Brooks, number 24. Excuse me. Jonathan Brooks, folks. What a game. His NCN rushing number, 50 points is kind of the average there. Look at him, folks. Bam, 109.77. You're talking about a hell of a game. And his NCN receiving number at 103.19. 20 rushes, 217 yards, 10.85 yards per attempt, 9 first downs rushing, 45% first down per attempt. So every other play, basically, he got a first down. That's outstanding. 2 rushing TDs, so 10% of his carries were for touchdowns. This episode is brought to you by BetUS.com. Go to BetUS.com and get yourselves a 125% sign-up bonus using the promo code NinosCorner at BetUS.com. Folks, go download that BetUS.com app from your favorite Apple phone or Android phone and get yourselves a 125% sign-up bonus using the promo code NinosCorner. Let's go take a look at Cedric Baxter, CJ Baxter, number 4. 34.24 when it comes to running the ball here for NCN rushing. So not the most efficient game, but look, he did move the chains at 16 rushes for 68 yards, about 4.25 here for his yards per attempt. 2 first downs rushing out of those 16 attempts. That has to get higher, so about 12%. You kind of want that number up around 30%, 33%. So basically every third time he's touching that ball, he's getting the first down. That's kind of what the metrics are for. And he had 3 successful plays rushing. So about 18% of his attempts were rushing, actually 19%. So that you kind of want around 40%. But he had a great one-handed catch by, Baxter that was thrown from Quinn. And he caught the ball behind his back, basically one-handedly, and got about a 16-yard run. So let's go ahead and let's look, folks, at the next guy. Let's look at Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue, you got to like Jaden Blue. Anytime he gets an opportunity to play, he plays well, for the most part. Look at this Kansas game, man. He had 4 rushes for 28 attempts on 17, for 7 yards per attempt, 75.61 NCN rushing number, 1 first down, and he had 1 explosive play too, I think, for 17 yards, which is really good. So kudos to Jaden Blue, man. I'm very curious to see how he is going to fit into this system, because he's one of the top five fastest players here in the team. I thought this game was kind of tailor-made for his his skill set. And I thought he would have been outstanding as running back number 2 here in this game because he's very twitchy, very quick, very fast, great vision and great balance. So yeah, I think this game was kind of tailor made for him, but we'll see how just everything works out throughout the season. But look, Texas is in no problems when it comes to the running back position here at Texas. They got great options here between Jonathan Blue, CJ Baxter, and also Jaden Blue. Now, folks, let's go into the wide receivers, and we're going to take a look at, first off, Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell had an outstanding game. I got 13 targets, 10 catches. NCN number is 66.01. He's been outstanding here, primarily for the most of the season. 76.9% catch percentage, 141 yards, folks, 9 first downs, 1 reception touchdown, 2 explosive plays, and 9 successful plays. All around great game, man. You got to love what you're seeing from Adonai Mitchell. His first down per catch rate is at 90% for this game, which is outstanding, which he's been very good this year. 100% here for the previous games. 67% for the game before that, 100% against Alabama, and 100% first down per reception rate against Rice. So he's been really good. He's been really good for the season. You got to love what you're seeing there. 2 explosive plays, which brings his total up to 5 XPs here for the entire season. But he's not that big catch guy all the time. He's a guy that's going to catch contested balls when he has to, but also, man, I'm telling you, he moves the chains very well. He's just a complete wide receiver. It's one of those guys you got to love. You like seeing him play. And 9 successful, plays that he got from catching the ball. So a 90% successful play per reception rate. Got to love what you're seeing from A.D. Mitchell. Him on this team opens up things a lot for Xavier Worthy as well. And that's the next guy we're going to talk about. X-Man, I got to take a look at these stats because I think I got this wrong. I think he had about 90 yards this game, and I think it was 93. So I'm missing something in my stats I had to update. But here, 67.39 for the NCN receiving, which is very high. X-Man's doing his thing, folks. I'm looking at 4 first downs, 1 explosive play, five successful plays, so an 83% rate. But look, X-Man, sorry about that, brother. I know that's wrong. I got to go check my stat database and see what happened there. But he had about 93 yards this game. So yeah, he's tinkering. He's almost there to have that first game for 100 yards. Let's see if it's against Oklahoma. And the last person that we'll talk about, folks, let's talk about Jordan Whittington and just the numbers he had for this game as well. Jordan Whittington, a 20.57, 6 targets, 2 receptions, 18 yards, 9 yards per reception, 2 first downs. So, both catches were for first downs, and no explosive plays this game, but both of his catches were successful plays. And the guy that I think everybody's really excited about is probably Jonte Cook. Jonte Cook, man, he continues to flash. 1 attempt, one target, 1 catch, 26 yards, an explosive play, 1 first down, and 1 successful play. He just on his limited basis, you're seeing he is a boom guy when he's in the offense. Look at that, folks. 151 last week for a 51-yard catch, 126 points this week for a 26-yard bomb. Yeah, he's electric, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do with more snaps. But he's going to be a very great target here for Quinn as the season progresses. And I tell you what, if Sark has him in the game, you can tell that he trusts him because he doesn't like to substitute a lot of wide receivers at all. But if you got a true freshman plan, he likes that guy a lot. And Jonte is a guy to like here on this team. So, folks, let's go ahead and stop sharing the screen and let's just round this off. All right, folks. Texas this weekend, beat the brakes off Kansas 40-14. Texas is still not starting off at a fast rate, but however, they are closing strong. And that's one thing that I like about this team is the resilience. We haven't seen this in the previous couple of years, but this year, outstanding resilience from this team. 5-0. Oklahoma's 5-0 as well. Meeting the Red River rivalry here next week. Going to be an outstanding game, and I cannot wait to see it, folks. But look, I'm going to have more videos out this week to kind of detail some of the matchups I think are going to be very important here for this Oklahoma, game, this Texas OU game. But folks, let me know in the comments what you think about the stats. But on that note, folks, man, in this podcast, like I end them all, do you? Don't be afraid to fail, outgrow your environment, understand your brilliance. Ninos Corner, I'm out. Horns always up. Hook 'em.